Hey, Empire Builders, it is January 21st, Saturday, and that's right, marketing never stops. Does the advertising budgets on any of those big companies, do you not see ads on television on the weekends? Of course you do. In fact, they pay more for ads oftentimes on those weekend sports because there's a big audience there. So, marketing online everywhere should never ever stop. As a leader, it is your duty to help out and be there for your audience. You have to show up all the time. You can't use the excuse, I don't feel like it. That's a bad one. So here I am on Saturday, and I am here to bring out the next phase 2 of becoming an expert. I'm going to create a playlist, and there'll be a playlist so you can watch all 5 phases, including my 50,000 foot overview of the 5 phases. There'll be a link to that playlist down below, and here we go. Phase 1 was the dreamer. That's where you get your idea of what you want to do. And now we're at phase 2, guys. Phase 2. That is called the reporter. All right, as a dreamer, you've geeked out and you've learned everything you can. Now you need to move on to a reporter and go deeper with those people that you have been following on their podcast, their books, everything you've read. You need to try and interview as many of those people as possible. Of course, many of them, if not most of them, are going to turn you down because at this point you don't have a following. So accept the rejection. And in fact, that rejection is a good first lesson. To be a leader and be an influencer, you've got to have a really, really thick skin. Believe me, the negative comments will drive you crazy if you don't have a thick skin. You've got to have it. So this is a great way to develop it. Take those rejections and don't treat them as rejections. Treat them as, well, I'll try again. Because that's the way they are. And I'm getting that thicker skin. I can take the rejection. I can take that guy saying no. But being in the interviews, that can build you some of the best relationships that you could ever be. That will get you in with the people that are in your niche that you have chosen where you're going to lead. That's right. You're finding the current leaders who are a couple chapters ahead of you, and you're taking all of their knowledge and asking personalized questions for them. That way, you can get tons and tons of information out of them. It's just that simple. I'll give you a story. I wanted to learn more about the Ertl Company and scale models. So last November, I was at the National Farm Toy Show in Dyersville, Iowa, and Joe Ertl was there. That's right. He was representing his scale models company, and I politely asked him, could I sit down with you and talk with you for a few minutes about your family history and the companies? What I asked for was just a few minutes of his time, maybe 10, 15 minutes. I know he's a busy man. The show is very busy. What did he do? He said, come back in a little bit. And I did. He patted the chair beside him for me to sit down. And I sat down and we talked for 45 minutes to an hour, all about the Ertl Company, how it was founded, his father, how he left the company, and how he went on to found Scale Models, and some neat stories about, shall we say, him becoming the black sheep of the family for leaving the family business, which at this point didn't belong to the family anyway. So I learned all of that extra information just by asking him, what am I going to do with this information? At the moment, I haven't really decided, but I was curious. I wanted to know more than the books that I had read, so I asked him. Luckily, he said yes. If he had said no, I'd been, that's okay, that's fine. I understand. He's a busy man, and that's it. But he took the time to tell me. And I'll give you a hint. Most of the people that have, the really high-level people probably aren't going to have time for you because of what they have. But most of the other people, they're going to be happy to share their knowledge because guess what? They're as big a geek as you are about it. They love it. They want to talk about it. And this gets you your personal opportunity to ask your own questions of them. Now, you've got this. You're the reporter. How do you do this? First off, you can send emails and you can contact them. But given that is probably going to give you a big goose egg for the most part. Because when they want to give you some of their time, they're probably going to want something a little bit in return, like an interview on a show where they can showcase their product or what their talent. And that is where we come to the 3 best ways to learn. The first one is obvious. Go to live events. This is where you can network directly with the people, and usually you can get a few minutes to ask a couple of questions. You usually can't go deep, but in the networking at these events, you can ask several questions to a lot of people, even people that you probably could never really interview otherwise. Live events are great. The next one is start your own show or podcast. Yeah. Having your own show or your own podcast, either one, is a brilliant move on how to get to be able to interview people. Your first few episodes are probably going to suck. They're probably not going to have anything but you talking. That's okay. You can do that in the dreamer phase. But once you've got several episodes down, now you've got a track record of showing you have a show, that you're consistent, that you show up and you provide value to your audience, even if it's not a big audience. You're providing value. This will make it much easier for those people to say yes to being interviewed, because they're going to be interviewed on your podcast, and as customary at the end, you're going to give them the chance to say, or to ask them, now where can our audience find out more about you? And that's where they get to do their little 2-minute pitch, where they pitch their socials, where they can buy the books, their podcast, or whatever it is that they have for the people to follow them. They love it. People love to do interviews. In fact, I like to do interviews. If anybody wants to interview me, just let me know. I'm down for it. And then the last way to do it is to build a summit funnel. Now, a summit funnel is kind of unique, because the summit funnel is where pretty much everybody knows what a summit is. It's where you get a panel of people together to give their talk on a specific subject. It's a great panel. You get 5-10 people. But when you do it as a summit funnel instead of just a panel, what you're doing now is building an email list and a customer list. You're building all of those at the same time. You get the people to do their little spiel, and when you put it up on the summit funnel, then it stays there and you can keep driving traffic to it for a long time. Instant authority, plus look at all the learning you get out of it. Big win. Those 3 are the best things you can do, but I promise you guys, what you need to do is start your own show or podcast. And since we're on YouTube, I recommend being a YouTuber. Start your show on YouTube and easily just strip the audio out and you've got a podcast. It's that simple, guys. It really is that simple. I teach all of this and how in the world you can become omnipresent out there by being a YouTuber. It's all in my YouTube course that's going to be launched very soon. And it is also the foundation work of getting your channel built with the basics of how to go on in my 5-day YouTube challenge. The One Channel Away challenge. It is going to change your life immensely. It'll put you on the road to being able to interview all of those people that will put their knowledge into yours. Now, there's one other point of this. Why do you really want their knowledge? Well, it's simple. Those who read one book, they get one point of view. You read a dozen books, you get on the same topic, you'll have a dozen points of view, because everybody has their own point of view. Yes, in math, 2 + 2 is 4. That is strict. But when it comes down to cooking, you could ask 1,000 chefs how to make chicken soup. You're going to get 1,000 different answers with the common theme through them. And once you've interviewed these people, that way you can now put all of their ideas together and remember and come up with your own frameworks for the future. And you can also see where the holes are in the market where you can jump in and fill those gaps with your frameworks and your products that you build out of it, plus your show. This is a critical step in becoming an expert. Join me on my YouTube challenge and subscribe to this channel, like the video, share it with anybody you know, and I'll be back tomorrow with phase 3. Also tomorrow I'm going to have another video on a vlog from Lanesville to put that out there. This channel is both, I'm going to put a whole mix of stuff on here, so subscribe. See you tomorrow, guys.